Imagine a world where conflicts are resolved peacefully, where people communicate with respect and empathy. This is the world of nonviolent communication. Nonviolent communication, or NVC, is not just a method of communication, it's a pathway to empathy, connection, and understanding. It's a practice that helps us see the common humanity in each other, and it's a language of compassion that can transform our relationships and our lives. NVC, developed by psychologist Marshall Rosenberg, is based on the idea that we all have the capacity for compassion and empathy. It's about more than just avoiding conflict. It's about creating a quality of connection that allows everyone's needs to be met. The beauty of nonviolent communication lies in its simplicity. There are 4 components: observations, feelings, needs, and requests. In the world of NVC, we learn to observe without judging, to express our feelings without blaming, to acknowledge our needs without shame, and to make requests without demanding. Observations are about what we see, hear, or touch. They are factual and free from judgment. Feelings are our emotional responses to what we observe. Needs are the underlying reasons for our feelings. And finally, requests are clear expressions of what we want in a way that respects the autonomy of others. By understanding and applying these 4 components, we can navigate even the most complex and challenging conversations with grace and compassion. We can express ourselves honestly and openly without causing harm or creating conflict. We can listen with empathy and understanding without taking things personally or becoming defensive. This is the power of non-violent communication. It's a tool that can transform our relationships, our communities, and our world. It's a practice that brings us closer to understanding, empathy, and compassion. It's a language that speaks to the very heart of our shared humanity. So let's dive deeper into these 4 components of nonviolent communication. Let's explore how we can observe without judging, express our feelings without blaming, acknowledge our needs without shame, and make requests without demanding. Mastering the art of nonviolent communication allows us to create a more empathetic and understanding world. The first step in nonviolent communication is observation, which is more challenging than it sounds. You see, the crux of the matter is our ability to separate observations from evaluations and judgments. It's about perceiving the world through a clear lens, unclouded by our biases or preconceived notions. Consider this. You walk into a room and see a desk cluttered with papers and books. A judgment might be, "This room is a mess." But in nonviolent communication, we strive for observation, not evaluation. So we might say, "There are many books and papers on the desk." It's a subtle shift, but a powerful one. It's the difference between an accusation and a simple statement of fact. Observations, when unmasked from judgments, become neutral. They are unbiased reports of what our senses are registering. And these, my friends, lay the foundation for effective non-violent communication. Just remember, see the world as it is, not as you think it should be. Feelings and needs are the heart of nonviolent communication. They are what make us human. In our journey of mastering nonviolent communication, or NVC, we now arrive at the core of it all: feelings and needs. These are the essence of our being, the undercurrents that guide our actions and reactions. But how do we express these without pointing the finger of blame? The key is to focus on our internal state rather than the behavior of others. Instead of saying, "You make me feel upset," which puts the responsibility of our feelings on someone else, we could say, "I feel upset when I see the dishes not done," which puts the focus on our own feelings. This shift in language is subtle, yet it can make a profound difference in how our message is received. Now let's talk about needs, those deep-seated desires that drive us. In NVC, we understand that all actions are attempts to meet needs. We all share the same basic needs, such as for connection, autonomy, and physical well-being. However, we often confuse needs with strategies to meet those needs. For example, we might think we need a specific person's affection, but what we really need is connection, which can be fulfilled in many ways. Expressing our needs clearly and directly helps us to understand ourselves better and fosters empathy in others. For instance, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," which is a judgment, we can express our need by saying, "I need to feel heard." This invites understanding and opens up the space for dialogue. Remember, It's not always easy to identify our feelings and needs. It's a process, one that requires patience and practice. But by doing so, we're not only improving our communication skills, we're also deepening our self-awareness and emotional intelligence. Let's try it out. The next time you find yourself in a challenging situation, pause and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What need is not being met? Then express these feelings and needs in a non-blaming way. By understanding and expressing our feelings and needs, we open the door to more meaningful and empathetic conversations. The final component of nonviolent communication is making requests, which is an art in itself. Plunge into the world of human interaction, where your words can either open doors or slam them shut. This is where we learn to articulate what we need clearly, specifically, and doably. Imagine you're painting a picture with your words, creating a vivid image of what you're asking for. But remember, these are requests, not demands. This distinction is crucial because it respects the autonomy of others. It says, I have a need and I value your freedom to meet it or not. It's like offering an invitation to a dance rather than a summons to a courtroom. It's saying, would you be willing to, rather than you must. In this way, we honor the other person's capacity to choose, fostering a sense of respect and mutual understanding. Making respectful requests is the final piece of the nonviolent communication puzzle. It's the key to unlocking deeper connections and more fulfilling interactions. So what happens when we incorporate nonviolent communication into our lives? Imagine a world where each conversation is a bridge to understanding, where every interaction is an opportunity for empathy. That's the power of nonviolent communication, or NVC. It's not just a method, but a mindset, a way of viewing the world through a lens of compassion and connection. By practicing NVC, we can reshape our personal relationships, fostering deeper understanding and empathy. In professional settings, NVC can help us navigate difficult conversations, build stronger teams, and foster a culture of respect and cooperation. And on a societal level, if we all embrace NVC, we can transform conflicts into constructive dialogues, replacing division with connection. Let's take a moment to recap. NVC is all about making observations, expressing feelings and needs, and making respectful requests. By internalizing these principles, we can all contribute to a more compassionate world. Nonviolent communication, when practiced sincerely, can truly transform our interactions and our world.